Welcome to Deep Thought. Stagnation. You know what? One of the saddest things is when you see a person is stuck. Now I take that back. One of the saddest things is when you see a person is stuck and the person don't know they stuck. And that's the case with a lot of people. Understand, when you go through life, you're either spiraling up or you're spiraling down. Like every single point, every year, like every time, every birthday, a person needs to sit back and evaluate the year before. In fact, they should start doing this, I say, maybe a few weeks before their birthday. Because there are cycles in life and everybody will go through them, right? And people need to say, where are they? Where are they in their careers? Where are they in their relationships? Where they live? Like, evaluate every single thing, right? For example, I've been really working on losing some weight lately. Well, not lately, really since April. Rom's weight got a little bit out of control, which for me, just as an aside, that's always a danger in the sense that when I put on weight, I put it on evenly all over my body. So I don't always notice. It takes a while to actually notice it. Right. So I've lost some weight since April, and, you know, working out to like supercharge the weight loss too. Drop even more. Right. But I can say that I'm spiraling because then this time last year, you know, I weigh less, in better shape. All right. Feeling healthier. I'm eating better. All right. That's a spiral. But what if I went the other direction? What if I put on more weight? Eat even worse? No telling you, I might not hear this. I might have had a stroke or something just from carrying on some diabetic attack. All right. That's how you have to look at it. Or relationships. How are you relating? How are you dealing with the people in your life? You know, those are the romantic relationships. Those are relationships with friends and family. Right? Money wise, that's an interesting one. Where are you in your career? Are you making more money this year than you did last year? Are you moving up? Are things happening in your life better this year than they were last year? And everybody has to do that. But see, what you have some people, when they get stuck, they stay stuck. Like, you can look at a person and tell if they stuck, right? You can tell if they stuck. Like, one interesting thing I see, like, some people are like aware of trying, you know, growing and everything, and they'll get stuck and don't even know it. Or they realize it, or they move the needle a little bit, and they're conscious about it, but they still not going any place. They're stagnant, and it's a lot of people like that. It's a lot of people like that. They stagnant. Usually, you can look at them. It's like they haven't grown. You can't. It's almost a light that you can see from them. Like, you can tell. Like, I remember a young lady I had known, right? And she's interesting. She's one of the few women that I just picked up on the street. You know, I literally met her on the street, approached, and, you know, saying hi and stuff, got her number. And I remember, like, going out with her, and it was so-so. It was so-so. But then, and so nothing really came of it. We went out. She was even at my place, but nothing happened because it was so-so. The vibe wasn't there. But then I remember I saw her a few months later, and she was totally changed. She was totally a changed person, but she aspired. She got out the stagnation. A lot of people have that. Like, look at your life. Look at your life. Look at your surroundings. Look at how you're dressed. Look how you're carrying yourself. Look at how you're moving. Are you stagnant or are you moving? Because it's easy to get caught in it, because sometimes, I'll give you an example. Toothache. Now, say you get a toothache and you're a person, unfortunately, you might not have dental insurance or money to fix it. And there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people who can go years with a bad tooth until it falls out or something because they, might not be able to afford to get it pulled or looked at or something. There's a lot of people like that, right? After a while, you get, if there's a constant toothache, you start adjusting to it. You know, you take some Advil or something, you do something, you pay attention to the foods that aggravate it and the ones that don't, stuff like that. Now, you've never dealt with the original issue. You just live with it. And that's what a lot of people who get stagnant do. Once they get in that funk, once they get in that range, they don't pull out of it. And they stay there. And that actually affects their relationships too. Because people who are stagnant tend to draw people, whether romantically or friendship-wise, who are stagnant as well. You know, like attracts like. You know, their vibration is probably lower. Like if you put a number on it, say the vibration is a 2. They will tend to attract other 2s. And they will tend to be in environments with other 2s. Right? Now, the only thing that could probably bring them up is being around some 7s, right? You know, or at least some 5s. It's people at a higher vibration. Like the key, if anyone's listening, they feel like they're stagnant in life, you got to sit down and look at every single aspect of it. Now, the only thing you got to keep are your kids if you have children. But you might have to shy away from friends, relatives. You might have to end that relationship. Yeah, the sex is good. Yeah, that person is actually a good person. But if your stagnation level, you know, if you're at a 2 and that other person's at a 2, y'all gonna be stagnant together. And in fact, that's usually what keeps people there, because the environment they're in usually keeps them there. If you want to change anything, you got to change your environment. That's the important thing. Change the people around you, everything. Change jobs, everything. Start hanging around people at a higher vibration who seem like they're happier in life. Because when you're dealing with some of that, I mean, because sometimes people get so caught up in the negativity and they reacting to it, they don't even realize that they could be at a higher something. Right? And that's the danger. And it's hard. And honestly, it's hard because one thing that could bring somebody out, like say somebody's at a 2, right? Being around the lowest, but then somebody else is at a 7. They ain't really, or 7 or 8. They ain't really stagnant or anything. In fact, they're spiraling. Something that can bring them out of it is a good relationship. In fact, it's probably the best way to bring somebody out of it. But here's the issue. Most 7 and 8, they go deal with the 2, or even be in an environment where they can meet the 2. That's the funny thing. So a lot of times when, you know, that's an unfortunate thing. When somebody is stagnant, so sometimes they just have to make the conscious effort. They might have to cut off on something. They might have to get out that relationship. They might have to figure out a way to move. They might have to get away from some toxic family members and then pull themselves up. So, I mean, that's the important thing. That's the important thing. They got to pull themselves up. Right? So it's yeah. And I say that, you know, that's part of the reason why I do what I do. To try to like have a higher vibration, put a higher vibration out there, right? You know, so somebody can make the move, so that, you know, I'm you know, I got over the wall. Now I want to throw the rope back and leave it for you so you can get over the wall too. All right? And that's the important thing. That is the important thing. Oh, man. Where are we on time? Anyway, right? Yeah, I always try to make sure I'm giving y'all at least, you know, a good 10 minutes or something. Oh, man. And you know what? I'll just say this to close. I had my period of stagnation. I had my period. You know, I don't talk about anything if you know what? I've gone through it. I've had it. And, you know, it's sometimes you just have to make that move no matter what. It's tough, but you can do it. So anyway, that's it. I'll talk to you later. Peace and blessings.